Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamtastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today I want to play around with some of the products from the Nests of Winter suite. And so this particular suite is probably one of my favorites. It just has some beautiful bird images in the designer paper. And of course, the designer paper is just has some really pretty patterns besides the birds. So I want to share just a couple of card ideas with you. And if you don't have this particular suite, you can certainly use these card layouts with any pattern papers or supplies that you have on hand. But today I just wanted to kind of play around with a little fun technique for using these circle shapes. So you might notice that these cards have like, I don't want to call it a half circle, but maybe a 3/4 inch size circle. So I decided to just kind of trim off the edges of all these little circle shapes just to create a little different look for the cards. So I'm going to show you 6 different cards. I have 4 of them here, but I'll show you 6 different ones and I'll walk you through a couple of those card ideas today. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. So let's start with let me fix this here. There we go. Let's start with these card ideas are the ones I'm going to actually walk you through, and then I'll show you some of the other card ideas. But there's a lot of different bird images in the designer paper. So all these little bird images that I have here, I cut these out of the designer paper. So some of the images can be cut out with the dies that come in the Winterly Treetop set. So, like some of these larger images, I think it's this one, can be cut out. That can be cut out of the designer paper with this particular die, and this one as well. So, these two, I think I have a die right here. So, these two can get cut out of the designer paper with the dies. And then the other birds that I used for some of these card ideas, those I had to cut out by hand. I had to use a scissors, but they're pretty easy to cut out. So this is the bundle that I'm using, Winterly Treetops. It has just some gorgeous images. So really the only stamping that I did were the greetings because I actually used, um, the beautiful images that are in the designer paper. And then I also use this very large birchwood embossing folder. So it's much larger than your normal embossing folder, but that's what I use to emboss some of these circles. And I'll just tell you where I got my circle shapes. So I got the circle shapes from the Spotlight on Nature bundle. So this is the circle shape I used with the kind of the I don't know what kind of design that is, the ridge design, I guess, around the circle shapes. So that those are the circle shapes that I actually use. You can use any circle shapes or really any shapes that you have on hand for these cards. So let's start with this one. Um, so what I did is I basically just wanted to really showcase the designer paper, and I really wanted to showcase, these little images. So this is the little image that I cut from the designer paper, the little bird image. And I know if I tell you this, you guys will never look at this bird image the same way, but this bird looks like he's holding a little cigar, doesn't he? I don't know. I don't know. I looked at it and I'm like, that's kind of a weird little branch. But so for this card, I decided to kind of cover up that branch a little bit. I don't know. That branch just kind of blew my mind, I guess. So the first thing I'm going to do is just add a 3.5 by 5.5 inch piece of just one of the Nests of Winter designer papers. We'll add that to the right side of this card front. And so I'm just using gray granite for my card base. We'll just add this off on that right side. So this is just one of those really pretty papers. Yeah, I know. I know it does look like a cigar, doesn't it? Anyway, so where did my other piece go? I lost my piece already. So I have to tell you guys, today is my birthday. So I decided to celebrate my birthday this morning with you guys. So if if I'm a little goofy, it's because I'm, another year older. So it is what it is. So this next piece here is just a 1/4 inch wide, and it's a piece of early espresso cardstock. So that's really the background for the card. And you can do this with any pattern paper. It just creates a really nice little background. And then I cut one of those circle shapes, and then I just trimmed off the edge. And actually, when I cut it, I just so first I trimmed off the edge, but I started to cut these, leaving the die hang off the paper a little bit so that I had a straight edge so I didn't have to cut them all. I hope that makes sense. So, like, I'll show you quick. So, like, if you take a piece of paper and you just leave this hang off a little bit. So you leave the edge here hang off of the paper a little bit, and it gives you a nice little straight edge. So then you don't have to go and cut all your circle shapes. But anyways, so this is the circle shape that I am adhering to the card front. And the reason I cut it off is that way it butts up really nice against that 1/4 inch strip of early espresso cardstock. So that is the basic design. And then I just took my little bird and we'll add this little guy right on here. And then I just took the greeting. I already stamped it, but I just stamped a greeting on a 3/4 inch wide piece of white cardstock. It really doesn't matter what length per se, because I'm going to snip this off anyways. So I'm just going to create a little banner. And this is just one of the greetings from the set. So the fun thing about this is you can use any greeting with, the products. I think I might trim this off a little bit too. All right. So then I just added a little piece of gray granite behind this. So this is just a 2 inch, 2 inch long by 1 inch wide. I just added a little bit behind it just to cover up that cigar. So there you go. So let's add that. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, my husband's birthday was last Sunday, and my birthday is this Sunday. So we celebrated yesterday with the dinner and a show. All right, so now we'll just cover up that little branch, that little cigar. And then we'll just add a little bit of linen thread here. So the design, like I said, is very simple, but it just gives a really pretty look to the card. I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Let's get this on here first. So I like to wrap my linen thread around twice. I just kind of crisscross it a little bit. And then I tie my bows upside down because they just seem to lay better when you tie them upside down. Let's straighten this out a little bit here. And we'll bring this down. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. All right, so that is basically what the card will look like then. And then I like to add like a little glue dot underneath this knot here just to kind of hold this in place. And then you can just kind of trim this down a little bit here. So that is the first card. Pretty simple. Oop, I forgot to add the little gems. See, you get another year older, and then you just get a little bit more forgetful, I guess. There we go. Let's add these. And these are the gems that, the earth tone gems that come in that Nests of Winter suite. So that's the first card. And then on the inside, you can add some designer paper, some scrap pieces. That's what I usually do, is add some scrap pieces on the inside. All right, let's play around with this next design. Got all these little pieces here. This I think is one of my favorite images in the designer paper. I just love the colors, the pool party colors, and I just think it really makes a beautiful card. So for this one, I just started with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of designer paper. So this is the designer paper that has the birds on it. These are the birds that you can actually cut out. But we're not going to use those birds. So we'll just add this to our card base. And then I just cut a 1/2 inch wide by 5 1/4 inch piece of early espresso cardstock. And then I put that off on the right side again, just right over the top of the designer paper. And then I cut out one of those big circle shapes using the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I embossed this with that birchwood embossing folder. And so that is what is going to be the background for our little birds. So we'll add this right off the side. So see how when you cut off, you allow that edging here, this just fits really nicely. It makes a really nice focal point, kind of my 3/4 inch circle. And then I just cut these from the designer paper. So I added some dimensionals on the back, and we'll just pop this up. So what I like about this suite, besides all the beautiful birds, well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe I should do my greeting first, is just how easy it is to create some quick cards, and they're just really beautiful. And then this one is just my little greeting that I decided to use. It's 3/4 inch wide, and it's 3.5 inches long. So we'll just pop that up right here. And I did all my stamping in early espresso. So we'll just put this right over the top. Oop, like that. And then you can add, the linen thread again to dress it up. It looks pretty just like this. You could add little gems all the way down the side if you wanted. So just a really pretty card. And then on the inside, I actually used some of those birds that are kind of hanging off the edge of the designer paper. You can just cut them out and use them to decorate the inside of the card too. So that is the second card idea. And then the last one I wanted to share, this is a really pretty image, one of my favorite little bird images in the designer paper. This one I had to cut out by hand, but it's pretty easy to cut out. So let's see. I'm going to start with my white card base. And then I just did a little bit of layering for this card. So I have a 1.5 by 4.5 inch piece of gray granite. And then I have a 3 by 4 inch piece of just some of the birchwood paper from this particular pack. And so let's go ahead and adhere this first. This is a really fun little layout that you can use with any supplies, and you can add any little focal point. So obviously I'm using the birds, but you can add, anything. Use any paper. So let's put this on here. Thank you. Yeah, these cards are simple, but just really beautiful. All right, now I have one of my cut off circles here, and we'll add our little bird. Oh, scoot that over a little bit. And then here's my little bird. Oh, I forgot to put some dimensionals on that. So we'll have to add those quick. Let's add a couple little ones. And so this will just kind of go off to the side here, but I'm just going to trim this a little bit so it lines up with the straight edge. Well, that was the wrong angle. Let's try that again. Which angle do I want to go at? This angle. Well, by the time I get done cutting this bird, I won't have any stem left. There we go. All right. So now the greeting is just a 3/4 by 3-inch piece. And then I just added my little gray granite behind it. I think it's a 1 by 2. So you don't have to necessarily completely frame out your greeting. You can just add a little bit of cardstock behind it. I like to do that because I always end up with little pieces of cardstock. So you don't have to completely frame out the greeting. You can just use up that cardstock. All right, so then we'll add this, and then this will be our third card. Let's tuck this under here if I can a little bit. There we go. Then we'll add our little gems. I think I might have put that on crooked. Add a little gem. So there's lots of different, bird images that you can use. Actually, all 6 cards that I created, so that's our card. All 6 cards that I created have different images from the designer paper. So let's take a look at these. So these are the 3 that I just walked you through, pretty quick and simple card designs. And they all have different images. And then here is another design, very simple. This time I used the modern oval to add one of the greetings. But again, this is just a different bird image from that designer paper. And I'll put all these up on the blog for you later today. And then here's just another one with Night of Navy. Just a fun way to use just this little bird, these different bird images. And then here is the 6th one. Very simple card design. These are just 1-inch wide pieces of designer paper on each side. So they're 1 by, I think it's 3.5. And then this piece up here is just a 4 by 4.25-inch piece of embossed white cardstock. So it just creates some really beautiful cards. Very quick and simple to create. And there's just so much that you can do with this particular suite of products. So the suite of products actually is not, what do I want to say? It's not a Christmas suite of products, but you could easily turn these into Christmas cards if you wanted to. All of the greetings and things in this particular set are all just all occasion greetings. So thinking of you, friendship cards, sending thanks. So this is one of those sets that you could really use for a variety of different occasions. So those are the 6 different cards. And like I said, I'll get those up on the blog for you later today with all the different measurements so that you can recreate them. And then I just wanted to draw your attention to my video that I did on Wednesday. So I featured this suite on Wednesday as well. And I just created a card within a card. So I gave you two different ways to create this card within a card. But this is the portrait style card. And so basically you open it up and there's a designer series paper card inside. So it's kind of a card within a card. And so this particular piece of designer paper has this beautiful design that goes across the bottom of the paper and it goes across the top of the paper. So in the video, I showed you guys how to cut up the paper so that you have very little waste when you make this particular card. So you can find that out on my YouTube channel. Um, and I think I posted it on Facebook as well. So you can go take a look at that. I think I forgot to put the link in the description with this video, but I'll go do that so that you guys can take a look at that. So there you go. So those are the cards I wanted to share with you. This is a beautiful suite of products. So if you haven't seen it, I did link to it in the description below this video. You can go take a look at some of the amazing products that are in this particular suite. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas, and thanks so much for the birthday wishes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great week, and I will see you guys all again next week. So take care, everybody.